Taraji P Henson. Now, you remember Taraji, you know who she is. We're talking about Empire, all the different things. You know, just keep going on and on and on. I've been watching it for years. The Today Show featured Taraji P Henson discussing such a great thought process as well as an opportunity that will help a lot of people. So let's get right into it and hear some more.
So we're erecting these she care pods, partnering with Kate Spade, New York. We're so grateful for them. And it's a place where it's respite. It's a respite center. So it's a place where you can go and decompress. You know, a lot of students have never had a therapist. It's a place where you can speak openly about mental wellness, because in our community, you know, we don't really talk about it. It's taboo. So we wanted a safe space for students to come and be able to talk about what might be bothering them.
Well, you know firsthand how difficult mental health issues can be. And I think I was reading this, let me find the page. It was a 2020 episode of your Facebook Watch series Peace of Mind with Taraji, and you revealed that you thought about taking your own life during the pandemic. And you said this: I had a dark moment. I was in a dark place. For a couple of days, I couldn't get out of bed and I didn't care. That's not me. And then I started having thoughts about ending it. It happened 2 nights in a row. I purchased a gun not too long ago. It's in a safe. And I started like, well, if I could just go there right now and just end it all, because I want it to be over. But then something happened and you went alone away for a month and kind of found yourself again. How did you get out of that dark place?
Well, because I have a therapist, you know, it's not taboo for me. I speak openly about it, right? And I knew for me, getting it out of my head, like saying this is how I feel, would help. But when you don't talk about it, then becomes a plan, you know? So I knew that I had tools and I started speaking about it. And then my friends were like, they got really concerned. So we found a place for me to go in Bali for me to just regroup and gather myself. And the thing about mental wellness is knowing when it's enough, knowing when to say no, knowing when you've reached your limit.
Yeah.
And I think people are so afraid to say that because we are in a grind. You know, it's all about grinding and pushing through, and you can't push through. You have to stop and really listen to your body.
Yeah, this is such an important point. You know, it's something else to see a famous, very famous star talking about, you know, the tragic thought processes, particularly around taking one's life and all of the things that come along with that. Because from the outsider, we look in to celebrities' lives as if everything is fine. And this is a perfect example for me that all things ain't what it seems. They're not what it seems. Even if somebody's life can look like it's the best, it may not be that way. And we as a culture, as a society, I know with social media and all the different things, it's hard to do that. We have to look at the world for what it is. In many cases, things are not always what it seems. It's a false narrative. It's something that we have to get out of to say, let's stop looking at how other people live and let's focus on ourselves. Purpose, individual purpose. Our purpose is our well-being. Our purpose is our mental health. Mental health means the most as far as ensuring that we're going to succeed. So let's keep that in mind. But this is very interesting to hear, and you know, knowing that we're not alone.
These college kids you're talking about are in desperate need of these kind of resources.
Absolutely.
How do you know how critical the need is?
I'm a college student. I graduated in 95, and so many students dropped out when I was in college, and we didn't know why because we didn't talk about it. And, you know, the work that I'm doing now, I wish I could have done back then. I wish there was places for, you know, that was there for us to go and talk. I think I became pregnant in college. You know what I mean? Thank God my family was supportive, but what about the many students that didn't have a supportive family that had to drop out?
And your first pod was in what college?
Alabama State University, and this one is going to be at Hampton University.
Okay, and Alabama State, you opened it, and what was that like?
Oh my God, it was amazing. The students were very receptive to it. We're very particular about what schools we pick because we want to make sure we're picking universities that are invested in their students' mental wellness. Because once we erect the pod, now you have to make sure it sustains. So yeah, we're really particular about which universities we're going after.
This is great. I wish Taraji P Henson and Kate Spade and that whole group the best of luck because we need it. We need all the help that we can get. And it's amazing to see a celebrity and companies really coming together to try to do something about it. Many times I think about what if I had this when I was younger, or what kind of help I would have received, or what information I would have been given earlier, and what how that could have totally changed the process and how I basically turned out. So how many other people out there need to hear the same thing, particularly earlier? Earlier, I talked about social media, but the good news about this is the fact that social media gives these outlets, right? We can learn. We can learn. We can learn from others if they went through some tough times and realizing that, hey, we are not alone. We can learn and we can use these different methods. And in this case, a great solution, right? In the college campus. And how do we basically support this as well as replicate it to make sure we have more of these particular pods around the country? Let's support Taraji P. Henson. Let's get behind these efforts. Let's see more of these things coming up around the world. She also talked about Bali. Follow us, subscribe, because we have some big things in store.